Hello there. Every new day comes with expectations. That's why we're here to satisfy your curiosity on the developments in the power sector. This is Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. You're welcome to this program. The management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, and officials of the African Development Bank, AFDB, have met over the process of financing the Northeast Transmission Project.
The Managing Director, CEO, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, who shared a follow-up meeting at the TCN headquarters in Abuja recently, assured the AFDB team of the improved project management structure because the company has built internal capacity to ensure that the personnel are better at managing projects under the Transmission, Rehabilitation and Expansion Program, TREP.
We have to create 4 implementing agencies to implement the 4 projects in a program, which the 4 project managers, they report to the program coordinator. So that the program coordinator's duty is to coordinate higher level engagements that the projects cannot do, and to ensure that there is a coordination between all the projects that are being implemented between themselves and with TCN.
At an earlier meeting held between the management of TCN and the AFDB team, the parties discussed issues relating to the security at the project site and the opportunities for people in the region to participate. The head transmission service provider TSP at TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, said the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP, has approved the project which will be financed by AFDB, while reassuring the AFDB team that the consultant being procured was from the region and is familiar with the terrain.
The good thing is that the consultant we are trying to procure is somebody that has been working in TCN for a long time. He's familiar with most of our project. He's even familiar with this particular project, Oscar, Joe, and partners. So I believe before the end of this week we should be able to get the no objection. I think today we should be able to get the no objection. So with that, I think we won't have any problem with the timeline. We are still within the timeline.
In his remarks, during the first meeting, the head Independent System Operation ISO arm of TCN, Engineer Maman Lawal, assured the delegation of adequate security at the project site in the Northeast, saying,
some arrangement to ensure that whatever our fears are, such fears will be allayed by the steps we have taken. All right. I mean, you can always make arrangement, isn't it? All right. So just to ensure that you have adequate security cover in the course of your assignment.
Leader of the AFDB delegation at the first meeting, Mr. Philip Osoka, said the team was aware of the Northeast situation and was supporting the project as it will impact on occupation and livelihoods and help to improve the situation.
They want to see how we involve the communities in the project. Our TCN, let's say, discuss how is it structured. TCN goes and meet with the villagers, how to make sure that the villagers are involved during the works, etc. So they feel that they're participating in the project, because the truth is it reduces the risk of vandalism and other threat for the projects.
However, at the recent follow-up meeting where Mr. Mohammed was present, he spoke of the reforms executed in project procurement at TCN. He said,
apart from the implementation capacity, the procurement process is also a problem. It's also a problem. So what we have done is to change the way we do procurement. First, we have introduced compulsory for all major contracts, there has to be pre-qualification. Secondly, we have increased the qualification criteria and defined every risk that is in our project. What we discovered in the past is that when there's a joint venture, if the combined experience and the capacity of the joint venture is evaluated combined, now we are evaluating in the joint venture each party in the joint venture, where each party can pose risk to us. And we have defined the qualification of each party in the joint venture in such a way that if you are in a joint venture with a party that is not qualified, both you, no matter how competent you are, both you and the party that joined into the venture, you are thrown out.
The TCN head, who stressed on the need for robust project implementation, noted that key projects in the TREP have a deadline of 2021 so they can add value to the economy by increasing electricity transmission capacity faster.
We want to do a program that has a deadline, and we want to complete this program by all means by 2021. That's what we are working on. We don't want to move. Now, if we are able to do 60% of the procurement of most of the projects, we can now come with NETAP 2. And for information, all these projects that we are implementing, they are economically sound. TCN has capacity to pay back its loan. Even with the existing tariff, if we can get 100% of our payment, I believe we can be able to service our debt.
On the impact the project will have in improving power supply in the Northeast, Mr. Mohammed said,
if you have 33 kV from Maiduguri, which is only 132, and you have 33 kV from Maiduguri to Mangono, now what quality of power is going to be in that place? So if we like, as a nation, we can keep quiet and leave them, and if the problem continues there, it will come and hit us wherever we are. But I can tell you the only solution we have, one of the best solutions to the problem of the North is to take power supply to those places.
Speaking on behalf of the AFDB team, Mr. Philip Osoka said the bank has done several interventions in improving electricity delivery in the Northeast region, noting that it is bent on doing more by giving TCN the needed support.
We are more than confident that by the end of November, December, we will come again to appraise the project. So this is what I want to say. And again, thank you very much for the collaboration. I hope you appreciate also our collaboration. And we really look forward to move this project together. It's important for us, it's important for the development of Nigeria, it's important also for Africa. As you mentioned, it's not only, it will not benefit only to the people of Nigeria, but also for the region, so for the West region, even further. So thank you very much.
Committed to ensuring that more bulk electricity is delivered to distribution load centers in the country, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has continued on the expansion and upgrading of its substations, transmission lines, capacities, and other facilities nationwide.
The supervisor, Ejigbo 132 kilovolt transmission substation in Lagos State, Engineer Samuel Adesami Adejari, applauded the federal government for supporting TCN in expanding the transmission networks to take the increasing electricity generation to Nigerians.
This is Ejigbo TS. Before, the capacity of this station was 120 MVA capacity before, but now, if you see what is in place now, this is 100 MVA transformer, we call it T1 100 MVA. We have a T2 100 MVA. There are new transformer put in place by government, by this present dispensation. So to replace, formerly the T1 was a 30 MVA transformer before, being replaced by 100 MVA transformer now. Likewise, T2 was a 30 MVA transformer before, now replaced with a 100 MVA transformer. So at present, we have Mobitra over there to relieve, so that people in the process of the installation of this new transformer, people will not suffer without a supply. So that was why they brought in that mobile transformer.
Speaking further on the impact of the 300 MVA expanded capacity of the substation, Mr. Adejari said,
You can even see 120 from 300. You know, the expansion is just too much. Meaning that people in this area, this station, this Ejigbo TS, is feeding up to Igando, is feeding International Airport, is feeding Okeafa Injection Substation, Jakande Gate, up to Sele, out of Sele Express, then part of Isolo, then Idimu, So like that one, if people they be enjoying it like maybe 5 hours supply in a day, now I want to tell you, don't let me say 24 hours in a day. Let's say minimum of 20 hours in a day with this capacity on ground that government are put in place in Transmission Company of Nigeria.
The substation supervisor, while addressing pressmen, gave insight into other improvements at the substation, which he said was to ensure that the equipment and facilities were commensurate with the expanded bulk electricity delivery capacity.
They've changed so many equipment, like our circuit breaker, like this one now. You know, something that will withstand the 100 MV will be higher in rating than the one that will withstand 30 MV. If you look at this circuit breaker now, it's a secondary circuit breaker. Likewise, primary circuit breaker, they've changed them. Likewise, the isolator, if you look at it now, from this side downward, that's the incomer. This is the outgoing. They've changed everything, like our GT, giving us a station supply. They've replaced it. Likewise, that one. So all these ones, CT, isolators, breakers, up to this level, they've changed everything in order to conform with the present capacity.
He said TCN keyed into the impactful project delivery because the present government wants to affect lives directly through all the sectors, including the power sector, and that informed the upgrading and expansion of the Ejigbo transmission substation.
The present government doesn't want a situation whereby the masses will be suffering for energy supply. So that is why they want an uninterrupted power supply, 24 hours. But it now depends how people, the discos will not be assisting the effort of the government and the transmission to circulate the energy.
Engineer Dejari conducted a press crew around the substation to observe the ongoing overhauling and transformer installation projects at the site. At the switchyard section of the station, he explained the new projects that have been added to boost the wheeling capacity of electricity around Ejigbo and its environs.
That line coming in, that one is coming from Ikeja West. That's our 150 kV, line 1 and line 2, giving us supply in this station. Then there is a kind of a flexibility as per this station is concerned. If you look at this side, this supply is not coming from Ikeja West. We can switch towards the Akongba via Etire, so that if they are working on that axis, in fact it's not possible for them to be working on the two lines at the same time. We can easily take supply from this side, so that people will not be experiencing darkness too much. So here, as I've said, line 1, line 2, to have it here feeding the station. Then here, you see this is our bus section, primary bus section. There you can see the expansion now. Takes place from this side. That's the primary breaker. That's the T1 100 MVA primary breaker.
Let's take a short break for a message. Please stay tuned.
Verify that land before you buy it. To drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right of way or encroaching on designated TCN land, members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right of way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
You're still watching Power Wheel. Electricity transaction in the power sector is conducted through the Nigerian electricity market space. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, manages the participants and service providers, often called the market operator, MO. In this interview, the General Manager of Operations System, Engineer Edmond Eje, speaks on the market situation. What is the function of the MO in the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI?
The market operations is the first entity created along the line of decentralization of PSN and of course the Nigerian electricity market. It's an offshoot of the then grid metering. When it was observed that energy accountability in the Nigerian electricity market was not actually going well, so the management of PSN then decided to create an entity that would technically and commercially manage the energy generated, distributed, and of course consumed by the consumers themselves. In other words, an entity called Market Operations was created, and it was formally incepted in 2004 to one, take care of adequate metering of the grid, and again to reconcile the energy generated, energy transmitted, and energy taken by the discos. That's purely why it was created.
What would you say are the achievements of MO in the last 2 years?
A lot has happened. One, we've been able to, among other things, ring the grid system as against radial. Radial means every generator you radiate 330 or whatever the line that will carry energy into the grid. And that means if there's an outage, the generator goes off, it goes nowhere. But with the ringing system, which started from Calabar, Odukpani, through Enugu, Uguaji, Jos, through Kaduna, and round. Now what it means is that the generators are in radial form, in ring form, so to say. And what it means again is that when one generator goes off, the other generator is ever ready to backfeed so that there wouldn't be any complete blackout as far as generation is concerned. That is one of the achievements. And again, the transmission network, which used to be a lot of problems, have been seriously improved. We have been hearing this commissioning of transformers everywhere in the grid. If you go to the south, a lot of beefing of the substations. There are substations that we are not able to carry enough power before now. But I tell you honestly that they have what we call N-1. That is having surplus of what they should be, what should be available at that station to be able to back up any eventual outage of the front line transformer. You have two transformers. If the first one goes, the second one takes on.
How is MO improving transparency in energy audits and payment?
If there's anything remaining in this Nigerian electricity market, it is the fact that the market operations has been holding very, very strongly one important aspect of the services to the market, that is energy accountability. Now, how do we do this? We make sure that trading points are adequately metered. Not just metered with any type of meter. We have our specifications which we give to distribution companies. Meters are cross-checked. At the end of the month, readings are taken. In the absence of automatic meter reading systems, which we are currently acquiring, the project is ongoing. This project means we will be in Abuja, read all the meters in the trading points we have throughout the federation. And then just reading it does not tell us it is accurate. We also follow it up by checking the trend of the consumption in that particular trading point to make sure that what we have seen, because you know computer is garbage in, garbage out, that you have remotely acquired data does not, validate it is true or correct. So what we do is that when we collect this, we also send people, go and review these meters, tell us exactly what is registered.
What does TCN stand to gain from the current eligible customer policy in the power sector?
Some of the discos are rejecting energy. Some of those energies that are rejected now are converted into eligible customers' portion of the energy, which they will consume, and by bilateral understanding, they pay the generator and pay the transmission that evacuates 100%. They pay invoice 100%. And we believe that this would go a long way, lubricating the cash squeeze we have been having in the market, especially on the side of the service providers. The NEC invoice is within the service provision, the TSP, the SO, MO, MBET, and of course, ancillary services. Ancillary services are those services that are rendered by the generators in order to stabilize the grid, and we give them preference. So any amount of money that comes in for services, we remove ancillary services 100%. Now, when we remove it 100%, it tells you that even if 30% had been the performance in the market, what these service providers get is far less than 30%. So with the inception of eligible customers transaction, we've been able to rake in some other IGR, apart from the money that comes from the pool, apart from this so-called poor performance, 30%, 20%, and all that.
How has the performance of the electricity market been, and how has it affected efficiency at TCN?
The performance of the market is not encouraging in any way. I tell you, averagely 30%. Sometimes it falls below 30%. You expect, like I said, the average market bill is around 48, 49, depending on the amount of energy generated for that month. And what comes in as against that 50 billion or 40 something billion is 10%, 20%, 30% at best. Nobody will adjudge this a better performance in the market.
What is MO doing to help improve the market performance?
We are playing our own part as market operations. We administer the market the way it's supposed to be done. We are answerable to the regulator. The regulator receives our reports as it's supposed to be monthly. We make sure that trading points are adequately metered. We make sure that market participants register with the market operations to enforce sanity and, of course, conformity in the market. So in terms of liquidity, the market operation is not in any way to improve liquidity of the market. Rather, the thing that will improve the liquidity of the market is sanity. Sanity will be impacted by the regulator. If the regulator would hold the distribution companies very, very responsible, sanction them when it's supposed to do that, make sure that they do the needful, then liquidity squeeze we have in the market, I tell you, would ease off.
We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away. We hope you had an exciting time with us on this edition. Join us on Power Wheel same time next week. Until then, you can watch our episodes via our YouTube channel and as well reach us through these platforms showing on your screen. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. Bye for now.